So you know what's super funny? And I saw this on TikTok and went to research it further. Okay, so in chapter 956, we hear Morgan's after he's beaten up the Cyberpol agent that infiltrated his ship, that WAPOL has some intel. This correlates to what we see later in chapter 1085, in which WAPOL actually has seen Emu and is running for his life with Vivi in his mouth, and then eventually they are picked up by Morgans, right, after stowing away on the Aegis Kingdom ship. Okay, wouldn't it be so funny that theoretically the biggest mouth man in the world blabbed and told the world that someone is sitting on the empty throne? The idea of someone with the biggest mouth in the world, presumably, doing that is peak hilarity to me. Because now, what that also could mean is that if that actually gets published and is spread out to the world, you know what that would do for Blackbeard? Someone who is trying to emulate Roxy Zebek. You know what kind of fire that would give him? That would completely change his mode of operations, because now some unknown information has become apparent, and now that shifts the goalposts to a new hill we need to climb, right? So WAPOL is never without Blackbeard for some reason. And I found something else very interesting about the two. Blackbeard's animal that he's represented by is the hippo, and WAPOL is represented by the same animal, because in Drum, there are furry hippos called walkies. Yes, white walkies, which are just furry hippos that can extend their legs. So when you see them like short to the ground, they're actually like bending down, but then it can stretch up. And WAPOL is often seen wearing the pelt as one, as a hood and cape. And then when he becomes the king of the Black Drum Kingdom, I guess he just dyes it black to match the motif. But yeah, both of them are characterized by hippos, and it's very possible that the intel that WAPOL has gotten could trickle back down to Blackbeard. But the idea of him, this inconsequential character from Drum Island, actually leaking one of the biggest secrets in the world is peak comedy to me. And I think it's very likely to happen, because why wouldn't Morgans do that? Who's stopping Morgans from doing that? No one knows WAPOL's with Morgans. What's actually stopping him from just leaking everything? Another funny thing about this is that WAPOL, being the munch fruit user, characterized by his big mouth, is literally biting the hand that fed him, because it is because of the celestial dragons and the 5 elders being the reason why he even got another kingdom in the first place. So leaking this giant secret would be an active betrayal to all of them. I find that hilarious. And I think this is going to fling Vivi back into the laps of the Straw Hats, because this does lead back to the information that Cobra told Sabo, that he needs to tell Vivi that she is a D-Clan member and she and Luffy are of the same family. I don't know if WAPOL heard that part, but based on his reaction, he just saw someone sitting on the empty throne. So that's probably going to be his contribution to this whole world building thing that we have here. But Sabo most likely will come back into the story and tell Luffy or tell Vivi that both of them are related, which will spiral her to be back into the main crew, I think, because I cannot see her not being a member towards the end of the story. It just seems ridiculous to me. And I will make a video on her specifically in the future, because I think there's a lot to be said about just her as a character and her role as a member of the crew. But yeah, with that being said, give me your thoughts.